There is a specific kind of person who moves through the world differently. You have seen them. They walk into rooms and the temperature changes. Not because they are loud, not because they demand attention, but because they withhold something essential that everyone else is desperately giving away. They speak less than others, but when they speak, the room stops. They smile, but you cannot read what is behind the smile. They seem to know something you do not. And the strangest part is this: they are not trying to impress you. That is exactly why you are impressed. What separates them from the mass of people anxiously performing their identities in every interaction? It is not intelligence, it is not wealth, it is not charisma. It is something far more subtle and far more dangerous. It is the understanding that certain things must never be spoken aloud, because the moment you say them, you lose. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that power operates in silence, that the most dangerous moves are the ones no one sees coming, that the prince who announces his strategy is the prince who gets poisoned at dinner. The modern world has forgotten this. We live in an age of compulsive disclosure. Everyone broadcasts everything: their plans, their wounds, their opinions, their breakfast. They think transparency is virtue. They think authenticity is strength. They are wrong. Transparency is vulnerability. And in a world where status is negotiated in every micro-interaction, vulnerability is a weapon you hand to your enemies. Watch what happens when someone speaks without filter. Watch how the room calibrates. Every piece of information you release about yourself is a data point others use to categorize you, predict you, and ultimately control you. The smart ones know this. They have learned through pain or observation that certain sentences, no matter how true, no matter how justified, must never leave your lips. These are not moral rules. These are tactical ones. The person who violates them does not become a bad person. They simply become a legible person. And legible people are easy to manipulate. Let me show you what I mean. Picture a meeting. A colleague has just presented an idea. It is not a good idea. You know this immediately. You see the flaws. You see the arrogance in the assumption. You see the laziness in the research. Your hand twitches. You want to speak. You want to say, "That will never work. I have already tried something similar." You are missing the obvious objection. This is a waste of time. Do not say it. The moment those words leave your mouth, you have lost. Why? Because you have revealed 3 things about yourself that a Machiavellian observer will catalog instantly. First, you care about being right more than you care about the outcome. This makes you predictable. Second, you feel threatened by mediocrity. This makes you insecure. Third, you believe that pointing out flaws makes you look intelligent. This makes you naive. The room does not reward you for being correct. It punishes you for making someone else look stupid. The colleague whose idea you just dismantled will remember your tone, not your logic. They will not think, "He is smart." They will think, "He is a threat." And threats are neutralized. The smart person in the room says nothing. Or they say something so measured, so diplomatic, that it sounds like agreement, but plants a seed of doubt that will grow in silence. Interesting approach. I wonder how that would interact with X. No correction, no superiority, just a gentle redirection of the frame. The idea fails on its own. You remain untouched. This is the first thing smart people never say out loud. You are wrong. But it goes deeper than that, because the compulsion to correct others is just one symptom of a larger disease. The disease of needing to be understood. The disease of needing to be seen as intelligent, as competent, as good. This disease makes you speak when you should be silent. It makes you explain when you should be watching. It makes you defend when you should be invisible. Consider the person who constantly tells you how hard they are working. "I have been here since 6 a.m. I have not taken a lunch break in 3 days. I am so exhausted." What are they really saying? They are saying, "I am valuable. I am sacrificing. Please notice. Please validate." They think this makes them look dedicated. It does not. It makes them look desperate. It signals that their work does not speak for itself, that they need to narrate their own worth because no one else is doing it. The smart person works in silence. Their results are loud. They do not announce their effort because effort is not the currency of power. Outcomes are. When someone asks how they pulled off a result, they shrug. Just got lucky. Or, had a good team. They deflect. They obscure. They never let anyone see the full machinery of their competence because mystery is more valuable than transparency. This is the second thing smart people never say. Look how hard I am working. Now let us go darker. Let us talk about the words that feel righteous when you say them, but are actually slow poison. The words that come from your chest, hot and urgent, when you feel misunderstood or misrepresented. The words that feel like self-defense but function as self-destruction. Someone accuses you of something. The accusation is unfair. Maybe it is a lie. Maybe it is a distortion. Your heart rate spikes. You feel the injustice of it, and so you do what every untrained person does. You explain. You clarify. You list the reasons why the accusation is false. You bring evidence. You bring witnesses. You go line by line, dismantling their argument, proving your innocence. And the entire time you are doing this, you are losing. Because the moment you defend yourself, you have accepted the frame. You have agreed that their accusation is serious enough to warrant a response. You have agreed that they have the authority to judge you. You have stepped into their courtroom and put yourself on trial. Even if you win the argument, you lose the power dynamic. Machiavelli would have watched this and shaken his head. He knew that the accused who speaks too much looks guilty. The more you explain, the more you sound like you are hiding something. The more you defend, the more you validate the premise of the attack. The smart person does not defend. They do one of two things. They ignore it completely, letting the accusation dissolve in the absence of resistance. Or they respond with something so calm, so detached, that it makes the accuser look hysterical. That is an interesting perspective. Or simply, okay. And then they continue doing exactly what they were doing before. This is the third thing smart people never say. Let me explain myself, but perhaps the most dangerous words are the ones that feel like connection. The ones that feel like vulnerability, like intimacy, like trust. The ones that come out late at night, when your guard is down, when you mistake comfort for safety. These are the words that hand your enemies the knife. You are sitting with someone, a friend, a colleague, a lover. The conversation drifts into deeper waters, and then it happens. You say it. I am insecure about X, or I am afraid of Y, or I really need Z to feel okay. You think this is honesty. You think this is building a bond, and maybe it is, with the right person. But the world is full of the wrong people, and the wrong people collect your confessions like ammunition, because now they know. They know what hurts you. They know what you fear. They know what buttons to push when they need to destabilize you. If you told them you are insecure about your intelligence, they will make subtle comments about how simple you are. If you told them you fear abandonment, they will threaten to leave when you do not comply. If you told them you need validation, they will withhold it until you perform for them. This is not cruelty. This is human nature. People use the tools they are given, and you gave them the blueprint of your internal architecture. Machiavelli warned that a prince must never reveal his weaknesses, even to his closest advisors, because advisors become rivals, friends become competitors, and intimacy becomes leverage. The smart person keeps their fears hidden. They integrate their shadow privately. They do their psychological work in the dark, and when they step into the light, they wear the armor. They are warm. They are present, but they are protected. They do not bleed in public. This is the fourth thing smart people never say. This is what I am afraid of. Then there are the words that feel like ambition, the words that feel like vision, the words you say because you are excited, because you are planning, because you want to share the future you are building. I am going to start a business. I am going to leave this job. I am going to move to another city. You announce it. You post it. You tell everyone in your circle. And you think this makes it real. That declaring it publicly will motivate you, will hold you accountable, will generate support. It does the opposite. It dissipates the energy. Your brain, in its evolutionary laziness, rewards you for the announcement as if you had already achieved the thing. You get the dopamine hit of accomplishment without doing the work. And worse, you have alerted everyone around you to your intentions. The envious now know where to sabotage. The insecure now know what to mock when you inevitably struggle. The opportunists now know what resources to position themselves near. Robert Greene, channeling Machiavelli, said, "Conceal your intentions. Keep your plans in the dark. Move in silence. Let your results announce themselves. When you disappear for 6 months and return transformed, no one can interfere, because they did not see you building. They only see the finished structure." This is the 5th thing smart people never say. Here is what I am going to do. Now we arrive at the words that feel noble, the words that feel like integrity, the words that come from a place of moral clarity. I was wrong. Simple, honest, humble. Except it is not that simple, because context is everything. And in many contexts, admitting fault is not virtue. It is strategic suicide. There is a difference between taking responsibility in private with someone who has earned your trust and admitting fault in public or in a professional setting where every word is being weaponized. When you say, "I was wrong," in the wrong room, you do not look honest. You look weak. You look incompetent. You become the scapegoat. Machiavelli advised that a prince must appear infallible in public. Privately, with trusted counsel, he can admit mistakes. But in front of the masses, in front of rivals, in front of subordinates, he must project certainty, because certainty is what people follow. Doubt is contagious. If you doubt yourself out loud, they will doubt you too. The smart person does not lie, but they reframe. That approach did not yield the result we wanted. We are adjusting. Not, "I was wrong," but "the data has shifted." They take ownership of outcomes without taking ownership of incompetence, because incompetence is a stain that does not wash out. This is the 6th thing smart people never say. I was wrong. At least, not in the way you think. Then, there are the words that feel like generosity, the words that feel like you are being helpful, supportive, offering value. "Let me give you some advice," or, "If I were you, I would do X." You think this makes you look wise. It does not. Unsolicited advice is one of the fastest ways to lower your status in an interaction. Why? Because advice positions you as superior and the other person as inferior. Even if they asked a vague question, the moment you launch into a monologue of guidance, you have shifted the frame. You are now the teacher. They are now the student. And unless they explicitly ask you to be their teacher, they will resent the dynamic. People do not want advice. They want validation. They want to be heard. When someone tells you a problem, they are usually not asking you to solve it. They are processing it out loud. If you jump in with solutions, you are interrupting their process. You are making it about your intelligence, not their experience. The smart person listens. They nod. They ask questions. How do you feel about that? Or, what do you think you will do? They reflect the problem back like a mirror, and if advice is truly needed, they wait until it is explicitly requested. And even then, they deliver it in the softest possible frame. I do not know if this is helpful, but one thing I have seen work is, this is the 7th thing smart people never say. Let me tell you what you should do. And finally, we arrive at the most dangerous words, the words that feel like connection, the words that feel like humanity, The words that every untrained person says multiple times a day without thinking. I am sorry. Do not misunderstand. There is a time and place for apology. When you have genuinely wronged someone, when you have broken trust, when you have caused harm through action or inaction. In those moments, a sincere apology is powerful. It restores equilibrium. But that is not how most people use it. Most people apologize for existing. Sorry to bother you. Sorry for taking up your time. Sorry, just one quick question. Every time you apologize for something that is not your fault, you are lowering your status. You are signaling that your presence is an inconvenience, that your time is less valuable than theirs, that you are grateful just to be in the room. This becomes a habit, a reflex, and once people see that you apologize easily, they start to expect it. They start to blame you for things that are not your fault, because you have trained them to believe that you will accept the blame. You have made yourself the emotional shock absorber for everyone else's discomfort. The smart person reserves their apologies. They use them strategically, sparingly. When they do apologize, it carries weight. But for the day-to-day friction of life, they use a different language. Not, sorry I am late, but thank you for waiting. Not, sorry to disagree, but I see it differently. They reframe the interaction so that they are not asking for forgiveness. They are simply stating reality. This is the 8th thing smart people never say. I am sorry when they are not. You feel it now, do you not? The weight of all the words you have said that you should not have. The explanations, the apologies, the announcements, the confessions. All the ways you have given away pieces of your power because you thought transparency was strength, because you thought honesty was always virtue, because you thought people would respect you for being open. But respect is not given to the open. It is given to the unreadable, the person who cannot be pinned down, the person who does not need your approval, the person who moves through the world like smoke, present but impossible to grasp. This is not about deception. It is about discretion. It is about understanding that every word you speak is a move in a game most people are not even aware they are playing. Machiavelli knew this. The great strategists knew this. Power does not announce itself. It does not explain itself. It does not apologize for itself. It simply is. And then it acts. And by the time you realize what has happened, the board has already shifted. You cannot go back and unsay the words, but you can stop saying new ones. You can start listening more than you speak. You can start observing the patterns. Who talks the most in the room? They are usually the least powerful. Who apologizes the most? They are usually the most exploited. Who explains themselves constantly? They are usually the most insecure. And who sits back, says little, and watches? That is the one you should fear, because they see the strings, they see the game, and they are deciding, in silence, exactly how to play you. The question is, which one are you going to be?